Hello. I'm back in the room that I used to film in because my husband is on break and naps today are not going well. So I'm using a room that my son naps in. Now, used to the twins napped in the same room, but now they wake each other up. And they're on kind of different naps anyway, sometimes. So he's not napping right now. She is. And my toddler son is awake as well. So my husband's with them. So you might hear some sounds today that you don't normally hear. But there's nothing that can be done. This is the time that I have to film. So I'm going to choose some Trident and I'm going to make my grocery list because I have some stuff I need to get. And people who are supporting me, I don't want to use anyone's name who might not feel comfortable with me saying their name. If you are comfortable and you want to shout out, then if you donate or subscribe to my Patreon or just donate on Buy Me a Coffee, if you want to say that you wouldn't mind me shouting you out, then I would love to do that because there's some really kind, I have so many kind and encouraging subscribers who can't support me or don't support me and like in that way, but I'm still so encouraged by, like, people are so kind in the comments and just really like share the nicest things to encourage me, and it really helps me. So thank you for that. I try to reply to almost all of them because it really means a lot to me. Thank you for taking the time to do that. But I was going to mention this specific lady who has been supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee, which is just so like next level to me. It's just really kind to do that. I really appreciate it, but she mentioned specifically that she really liked my grocery list videos, and so this is a shout out to her because I wanted to make another grocery list for her. And because I need to make a list anyway. So, I realized after I started this video that my pencil lead is not very sharp, but I have a pen to use if this goes out, but I'm going to try to use this pencil. My husband is on spring break, and so we've been getting so much done. Like yesterday was such a productive day. We've been wanting to redo some of our landscaping for a long time. And we got every child down at the same time yesterday afternoon. They were all sleeping, which is sometimes very rare. And we both went outside and just dug in the dirt and like raked and got all the leaves out. It's been looking really horrible because once the twins were born, a lot of things got away from us. And so the landscaping is one of the things that got very little attention. So we were finally like, okay, we can do this now. So we got out there, we dug up a bunch of stuff, pulled all the weeds, raked the mulch back, and then sprayed everything for weeds. And then it said to give it a day. So I think this afternoon we're going to plant some flowers, which I'm so excited about. I love flowers. We don't have any right now in our front yard, and I just think they're so pretty. And my parents are moving, and so my dad was like, I can thin out some of my plants because he has a bunch. And he was like, and I can transplant them at your house. And I was like, oh, thank you, because plants and flowers are so expensive. I think we're going to work on this like this evening possibly. Now that the time has changed, it's lighter longer. So even when the babies go to bed, we'll still have some light to work with. So I think we're going to do that. I told that because I do need some things at the store for the landscaping. We're going to have to buy, I'm not exactly sure how much mulch. I know like a little mulch does not go a long way. So I was like, why don't we start out with 10 bags? I know that's probably not going to be anywhere near what we need, but like, let's just start with that and like see, so we have a scale of like what we need. And we got to get 10 bags of mulch. We may end up getting more than that when we start loading it up. I don't know. We need some more of the weed killer stuff. And then just kind of to go along with this, we also need some new cushions for our outdoor furniture. In the back, and that's really expensive. It's really expensive, but we don't need to get new ones for all of them. We just, like, my dog tore up one of them. They've been weathered, you know, so some of them are just in really bad shape and we need to replace them. I think we can get them at Lowe's, and I think we can find the same color at Lowe's, which is awesome. But probably all three of these things we're going to get at Lowe's. I also wanted to get some planters, it's like to hang up in the back. I'm just going to check those out. Now that we're not spending a bunch of money on flowers for the front, I think I could get a couple of those to hang up. Flowers just make me really happy. Colorful things, I love it. That'll get us started at least. My husband's been pressure washing today. We're like taking care of all this stuff, which is nice, but it's just a lot. Okay. Then one of the meals I'm going to make this week, because it's just a fun meal. Since my husband's on spring break, we're like, I don't know. I'm going to make tacos. And I don't know, I feel like I have talked about this exact meal before. I know I've gotten like the ingredients for my taco meal, and like put it on a grocery list, but the way that my mom made tacos growing up, we did fried tacos, and so she would get corn tortillas, and we've done it with white and yellow corn tortillas, but I think for right now at least we prefer the yellow. So we get like the small yellow corn tortillas. I like the Mission brand, but I also use other things. But the Mission ones I don't feel like fall apart as easily as some of the other brands. Anyway, so what I do, I need ground beef. And because I'm going to make these tacos like as I go, and they'll be hot as I serve them, once I cook the ground beef, and I do that with onions and then taco seasoning, which sometimes I make my own taco seasoning just using like paprika, chili powder, garlic, salt, different stuff, but taco seasoning. I brown the meat, drain it, add the onions, cook it. And then what I use, because I'm going to place this stuff in the tacos and I don't want them to fall apart, I use pinto beans. And I just recently made some pinto beans that I've talked about this. I bought a big dry bag of pinto beans, soaked them overnight, and then cooked them and froze a bunch. So I took some out of the freezer, and I'm going to use those. And what I do is I like mash them up to make this like thick kind of pinto bean paste. And then I mix those with the ground beef, and it makes it stay together better. It kind of acts as like a glue, like holds it together. So then I use like butter in another pan. I fry those tacos, and then while they're still on the pan browning, I scoop some meat and beans into the tacos, put cheese in there, shredded cheese, which I need to get cheddar cheese, and I prefer to get the blocks of cheese, and I shred it myself. It just tastes better, in my opinion. And so I sprinkle some of that in there, and then I fold the taco while it's in the pan and brown each side, and then it's ready to serve. So they're small tacos, so I make quite a few. And then I get lettuce, tomatoes. My husband has sour cream on his, sour cream, cheese, and avocado. I need to get several avocados. That's all he has. Well, I add lettuce, tomatoes, hot sauce. Oh, we both like cilantro too, so he'll do cilantro. But he doesn't like lettuce, tomatoes, hot sauce. Sometimes I do jalapenos, but not as much right now. Breastfeeding, sometimes I just get paranoid about different foods. But I'm also going to do the Mexican rice, which I've talked about on here, I know. So I use garlic. I've got a bunch of rice. I talked about how I got that big 25-pound bag of rice at Sam's. Tomato sauce for that. I just got those chicken bouillon cubes to use instead of chicken broth. It's just so much cheaper. And that's how I make that rice. And then tortilla chips. What else do I need for this meal? Another reason I'm excited about this meal is because the babies can eat all of this stuff. And it's just nice now. Like, it's getting so much easier because they can eat a lot of the stuff that we eat now. And so I'll probably brown them some meat and not put all the seasonings on it, like the top, like from the pouch. I'll probably season it myself for them. But then I can give them like meat, beans, cheese. I'll give them some rice, avocado. They love avocado, tomatoes. And that's just so nice to just prep one meal and have it ready for everybody. And I'll make enough meat to do this for at least 2 meals. You guys know how much I love leftovers. I'll get quite a few avocados just because like the babies are also eating that quite a bit too. I'm realizing every time I go to the store, even if it's not on my list, I grab a bunch of bananas because we eat so many bananas, especially the babies. It's just like a go-to thing. So I always grab a bunch of bananas. We need more yogurt. That's another thing. I feed the babies Greek yogurt a lot, and I also eat that. And so we go through Greek yogurt so fast. I honestly probably need to get the big one at Sam's because we eat so much Greek yogurt in this house. I need more applesauce. I get unsweetened applesauce, and all three of my kids love that. Oh, I have some spinach. This is another thing that I'm trying to, if any of you have any recommendations for this, tell me. But when I was pureeing all of their food, which I'm not doing really at all anymore because I can eat food, like solid food, but when I was pureeing all of their food, I would puree spinach, pears, and peas all together to kind of sweeten the spinach, because just eating that spinach by itself, like boiled spinach, is just kind of bland and bitter. So I've got some more spinach, and I was trying to figure out if I didn't want to puree it, what I would do to sweeten the spinach. If I would just kind of like let it simmer on the stove with some cut up pears or apples. I don't know. If anybody has any thoughts, please tell me. Yeah. To make it a little more enjoyable. Oh, I need to get some spinach though. Like, I have some frozen spinach in the freezer for them. I need to get some more spinach because I like to cut it up really finely and put it on my taco. I don't know if this is just me, but I like to eat spinach with lots of meals. But the bags you get at the store of fresh spinach, I feel like that it goes bad so fast that I usually end up having to throw some of it away, and it's a bummer. I need to catch it before it goes bad so that I can cook it up and give it to the babies, at least if I'm not going to use it. Cook it up and freeze it. But I can't. And part of it is that my husband doesn't really eat it. So I'm the only one eating it, and I just can't seem to get through the whole bag before it goes bad. But I do need to get some more of that. I'm sorry if you can hear my son. He's talking down there. But it's very sweet sounds. Okay, this might get us where we need to be for now. Oh, another thing I was going to tell you guys, which I think I'm actually going to get more ingredients for this so I can do it again. I don't know if anybody's ever been to, I mean, I'm sure somebody listening has, but the Magnolia Bakery in New York City. They also have one in Chicago and one more place. But the only one I've been to is the one in New York City, which is the original. And they have the best banana pudding. That's what they're famous for. I mean, you can get pastries and all this other stuff, but I remember like when we went, they had a line just for banana pudding. And so it's always like out the door. And we went there twice for like that week that we were there to get banana pudding. And so I recently had a friend share with me a recipe that was supposed to mimic Magnolia Bakery's banana pudding. And so I made that this weekend, and it was delicious. But as I think I've mentioned on here before, when I find a recipe for the first time, I follow it like to a T the first time, but then I realize what it needed for me. And so after that first time of making it, I tweak recipes to fit what I like. like if it needs more of something. So in my opinion, this recipe needed way more vanilla wafers and more bananas, because the pudding part was so good, but there was so much pudding with this recipe, and it just didn't have enough filling, like the vanilla wafers and bananas. So if I do it again, I'm going to put a lot more of those two things. Also, I'll make the same amount of the pudding, but layer way more bananas and vanilla wafers. So anyway, I think I need to get 2 boxes this time of vanilla wafers. And then I think I probably used 4 or 5 bananas. So I'm probably going to get like 8. And then I need heavy whipping cream. I have a little bit left from this recipe, but I need to get another small one. Heavy whipping cream. Sweetened condensed milk. And then a vanilla pudding packet. I got the Jello brand vanilla pudding packet. And that's all you need. It's really simple. It just takes, like, I had to mix the sweetened condensed milk with ice water. Blend it, blend it, blend it. And once it's mixed together really good, you have to refrigerate that. No, hold on. You mix the water and sweetened condensed milk, and then you add the vanilla pudding packet. Mix, mix, mix. And then you have to refrigerate that for 4 hours or overnight. So at least 4 hours. So I just did it overnight and made it the next morning. Then you pour heavy whipping cream into the blender and mix, mix, mix until it gets really, really thick. And then you pour the pudding mixture in that. Cut up your bananas, layer out your vanilla wafers and bananas, and pour the pudding, layer again, pour the pudding, layer again, pour the pudding. And then I didn't have enough to like top the top. And then you have to let that sit for at least 4 hours in the fridge before you eat it. So it just takes time to like let it have the time that it needs in the fridge, but it was really good. To me, it was better the second day. It was just like better flavor the second day, but it needed more bananas and vanilla wafers, in my opinion. It was really good. Okay. I hope this video was still relaxing, even though there might have been more background sounds than normal. But thank you so much for watching. All my information is below, and I will see you soon.